500,000 voices. That's how many submissions Zimbabwe's parliament says it has received on the controversial constitutional amendment number 3 bill. Think about that for a moment. More than 500,000 Zimbabweans have reportedly shared their views on a proposed constitutional change that could have a major impact on the country's future. But the big question is, what exactly are Zimbabweans saying? And more importantly, will Parliament listen? Let's talk about it. Zimbabwe's Parliament has announced that it has received more than 500,000 public submissions following nationwide consultations on the constitutional amendment number 3 bill. The submissions were gathered from citizens across the country as lawmakers sought public input on the proposed changes before moving forward with the legislative process. According to Parliament,
the Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Committee would go out to receive the views of the Zimbabwean people. So that was seen. We've completed that successfully. I think it went very well. There was a lot of participation from the Zimbabwean people, and people expressed their views freely. Following that, the public consultations, there was a time for written submissions. People through email, and the people sent their views to Parliament directly, either through email or by writing or by whatever means. That was done, and we are now compiling those submissions. The submissions that were made were about 530, roughly 500,000, 530,000 so far. We are still assessing the issue of emails, but so far roughly 500,000 submissions have been made.
Honorable Zobwo clarified the meticulous nature of the compiled report.
What's been covered in our report is a clause-by-clause assessment of the views of the Zimbabwean people in relation to each clause. What were people saying? What were the objections? What were the...
The report containing the views and opinions collected during the consultations is now ready and will soon be presented before the National Assembly. This marks an important stage in the process because the findings could influence what happens next with the bill. Now, whenever a constitutional amendment is proposed, it naturally attracts public attention. Why? Because a constitution is not just another law. It is the foundation of how a country is governed. It defines how power is exercised, how institutions operate, and how citizens are protected. So when there is talk of changing the constitution, many people pay close attention, and judging by the number of submissions received, Zimbabweans clearly have strong opinions about this issue. More than 500,000 submissions is a significant number. It suggests that people from different provinces, communities, and backgrounds wanted their voices to be heard. Some may support the proposed changes, others may oppose them, and many may have suggested modifications or raised concerns. For now, the nation is waiting to see what the final report reveals. Will there be overwhelming support? Will there be strong opposition? Or will the views be divided? Those answers could become clearer once the report is tabled in Parliament. What makes this development important is that public participation is considered a key part of democratic governance. Citizens are often encouraged to take part in discussions that shape laws and policies. The idea is simple. If a law affects the people, then the people should have an opportunity to express their views. And that appears to be what happened during these consultations. However, many Zimbabweans are now asking an important question. If more than 500,000 people have spoken, will their views actually influence the final outcome? Because public consultations only have meaning if the feedback is taken seriously. This is where the spotlight now shifts to Parliament. Lawmakers will have to examine the report, study the submissions, and determine how the views expressed by citizens fit into the legislative process. Supporters of the consultation process say the high level of participation is a positive sign. They argue that it shows Zimbabweans are interested in national issues and willing to engage in important discussions about the country's future. Others believe the large number of submissions demonstrates that constitutional matters remain a topic of great importance to the public. But there are also questions being raised. Were all communities equally represented? Will every submission be considered fairly? And how transparent will the process be moving forward? These are the questions many citizens want answered as the bill progresses through Parliament. One thing is certain. The Constitutional Amendment number 3 bill has already generated significant public interest. More than 500,000 submissions represent more than just numbers. They represent opinions. They represent concerns. They represent hopes and expectations from ordinary Zimbabweans. And now the responsibility falls on Parliament to show that those voices matter. As the report heads to the National Assembly, all eyes will be on lawmakers. The decisions made in the coming weeks could shape an important chapter in Zimbabwe's constitutional journey. Whether people support the bill or oppose it, many agree on one thing: the voices of citizens should not be ignored. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think public consultations like these make a real difference? Will Parliament truly listen to the views of the people? And what do you think about the fact that more than 500,000 submissions were received? Is that a sign of strong public participation, or are there still concerns about the process? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more news and analysis from Zimbabwe and across Africa. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.